Porcelli. You know, it's very unique. So many of you say it's so interesting that Ina and I work together, right? We've been together for 23 years, we run a business for 15 years, and we work with clients very hand in hand. It's very unusual to find another couple that works like this, and we feel like we found like the most amazing team down here when I met them a couple years ago in Germany. And Dr. Porcelli is the dentist, and Alina is his boss because she runs the show here and at home. But she runs the office. She's a hygienist as well. They met at college at NYU. And then tell them a little bit about you, a little bit about your background, how you got to biological dentistry.
So I graduated school about 14 years ago from NYU. And after my program, it was to continue my education. I wanted to go further, and I looked into reconstructive and cosmetic dentistry as a field that interested me. And putting all that together and really trying to become the best dentist that I possibly can, that was really my whole goal.
Right.
But as I started to achieve that and started to get to that level of dentistry, and started to accomplish a lot of these academies that I was training with and all these top doctors, it wound up being phenomenal because I really got very good at dentistry. And about 6 or 7 years ago, when I started to pay more attention to other things aside from the dental and the fixing and all of the reconstructive work that I was doing, I was really paying attention to, you know, the medical histories that we take in the dental office.
You were saying that the other day when we were chatting at your house, like I was noticing all these clients that had extensive dentistry, but they had extensive health histories, and is there a connection, right? And so you and Dr. Dannenberg started to really research that a little bit, another doctor that works with you, who's going to be on one of our podcasts soon.
Yeah,
and your gorgeous wife from Romania who said, hello, Lena. Hello. He had to go back and grab her because she's so amazing, and they're in such unity with living the lifestyle of bioregulatory medicine, of living what they talk about all day long and what they do, and their center is in a perfect example of that. And so I want to tour everybody through and show them. Was there anything else you want to say?
Let me just add to,
yes.
you know, the mouth-body connection and the things that started to come about was about 6, 7 years ago. I started to pay attention much more to why are so many people so sick. It didn't make sense to me. And my colleague that Kelly mentioned, Dr. Al Dannenberg, he was a periodontist in the practice, and him and I just started to communicate about, you know, what's really going on here. And we knew that there must be a root cause issue of why people are getting ill, and why they're taking so many medications made no sense to us. So that's when we started to really tie together everything and started to research into learning more about root cause of illness, and it led us into the path of nutrition and its connections to whole body health, and that led us into some programs that wound up really leading us down the road into biological medicine and all of the...
And that's where you met Dr. Caratola.
Yeah, met Dr. Caratola through my research and looking for other comrades that were thinking the same way, and we started to kind of all make this happen,
And then we were so excited because Dr. Caratola brought him to Baden-Baden a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And these beautiful people sit next to me, and I'm like, oh my God, they must be actors because they're so beautiful. I must know who they are, and I'm not going to know who they are. And then she sat next to me, and she said, oh, I'm here with my husband, Rich, who's a dentist. I was like, oh, thank God they're not actors, and I shouldn't know who they are. And they were just the most amazing, heartfelt people. And I was like, well, my best friends just moved to Bluffton, South Carolina. I'm going to come check out your center. So now I think this is our second trip, and I think we'll be coming back because you guys are amazing. And we've been able to work on a couple of clients up in New York. Dr. Porcelli has worked with a couple of our clients up in New York, and many of my best friends have worked with him. So we wanted to share with them, with everybody, their beautiful office. So let's take a look.
Okay.
Alina, would you like to lead the charge?
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
So this is our front desk
Excellent.
where we check our patients. Now we have different rules.
Yeah. She's kind of running a lot of hats right now.
Yes, that's right.
And they're working
I'm
at a
the
limited
checkout
schedule.
person,
And you can see the medical, you can see they have medical electronics equipment from Dieter Jostner that's available on the NotMeds website. And they have Regulon and Standard Process. You can see all the commonalities that we all have. Great.
We even have great information for some of the doctors that we do a lot of our work with. Dr. Dannenberg, who's got one of his books out, and even Dr. Caratola.
Yes, absolutely.
And these are two of my really close friends that I do a lot of our dentistry with, and we've built and done some really wonderful things for a lot of patients.
So their office is so beautiful and such a great flow, if you will, within their center, and everything is just perfectly laid out. I love the artwork here too. And so this center is the laser room, and they have them beautifully identified what they do in each room. So this is the laser room. So tell us a little bit about what you do in this room, because you started more doing aesthetics originally, right?
Yeah, so the laser room is pretty much advanced technology, everything that we're using with anything from extractions and being able to really clean the infection in the bone and any areas that we work on. That's a great sterilization technique, but also it helps to work with tissue for cosmetics, so it has a lot of versatility for cosmetic procedures, but also to do any kind of debridement and even the type of laser that we has an ozonating process to it, so we can ozonate the infected areas as well and clean.
Which of course makes it sterile, right?
Yes.
And is this where you have Dieter's light is in here?
Yes.
Yes. So Dieter Jostner's light from medical electronics again is also over there in the corner.
Yeah, so we use these after surgeries for healing.
So it
We have
increases
patients
healing
use-
capacity greatly, as you all know, the benefits of light, because
That's
cells
right.
communicate with light.
We have the
All
PRF
right.
machine there, the centrifuge.
Look at you, talking. And this is their smart room. If you all know what a smart dentist is, if you don't, you should know what a smart dentist is, because they're the smart dentists, the ones that don't place silver fillings, that know properly how to remove silver fillings. We say silver, but I always get yelled at for calling them silver fillings.
No, they're mercury.
Amalgam fillings.
Mercury amalgam
fillings.
fillings, not healthy stuff, neurotoxic.
Neurotoxic, brain toxicity. So look at how congruent we are. Look at their ceiling. Look at, just like in our center. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. So they have the high-powered suction in here. This is the smart dentistry room, right? So this is where all the high-powered suction and all the ozonated air, and what else do you do in the ozonated air up here. All the proper procedures to make sure that they're safe, their staff is safe, and you're safe when you have those drilled out of your mouth properly.
So yeah, so the procedure itself is really about protecting the patient from inhaling or aspirating any of the dental materials. We actually do the protocol for not only amalgam, we do it even for any type of restorative materials that are being taken out of the mouth. We really want to protect you so that you don't have some of these biomaterials that aren't as healthy that have been used in traditional dentistry. So everything that we do when we replace this is done through specific protocols that allow us to.
It's just a big light here. It's hard to
No.
see.
It's
the sun.
Okay,
I was just blocking the light, everybody. It's okay.
There we go.
I'm a live person. I'm cool with it. They know me. They're good.
So yeah, so back to what I was saying. It's about protecting the patient. So everything from the airbag systems to the air system purifiers for the room, to the oxygen that we place on the patient, to all the draping and the coverage so that your skin is not exposed. We do all of this to protect any patient that's having any restorative materials taken out. And obviously, most important, like Alina was saying, our staff. We're around this every single day, so we really have to make sure that we're protecting everyone, including the staff. And after that, it pretty much goes into one of the next rooms, which is the aesthetics room, which is
Great.
rebuilding and putting the new smile together for patients, whether it's a single tooth or if it's a full mouth reconstruction.
And they do long cases, so they'll work with people throughout the months, weeks, years, going as slow
Yes.
or as fast as needed to make sure that they're following the laws of the biological system. And they've aligned themselves with a lot of great practitioners down here, and will continue to do so to make sure that they, again, physician of the mouth, he understands that while he's working here, he's affecting all of this. So he's aligned himself with practitioners on here. I've met many of them already that are absolutely amazing. And it's really what a biological approach is about. It's not just, oh, I'm a specialist in mouth and I'm going to only talk about the mouth and nothing else. You know, we've met chiropractors and doctors and all sorts of people down here where you've only been here for 4 or 5 days. This is what we do
of
free.
our patients.
Or for our fun time. Yeah, and we've seen a couple of their clients down here, and we'll continue to do so because we can all work together long distance and we can send people back and forth. It's a beautiful system.
And just to talk a little bit
Yes.
about the type of dentistry, when we do, after we're cleaned out with old dentistry and we start doing the new the new style of the mouth for patients with newer biomaterials, things that are
Compatible.
just more compatible. The materials are also, when we use our laboratories have to be very specific as well. They have to be held to the same standard that we are. So they are very, master ceramists, high-level artists that are doing specific work with these types of biomaterials to recreate perfectly natural-looking teeth and smiles.
And that's
So
really
it's
your
fantastic.
background as an artist.
As an artist, that's what I do. Is I do the sculpting on the chair side, and all of that gets duplicated so that the lab technicians can take my work, run with it, and then they put that right into life with all the new materials and the porcelains.
And just like we've always said, I and myself, we're artists of this work. We're artists when we work with the body, and it just exemplifies it.
Yeah, and the last thing that we added recently that I'm very proud of, which was I think the missing link to biological dentistry, is we've actually added in epigenetic orthodontics. Epigenetic orthodontics has a lot to do with how the facial features have changed over the past number of centuries, where we're seeing actually the lower jaw is more retruded, more underdeveloped. So now, as a reconstructive dentist and someone that restores the mouth fully, we're actually looking more at how are the arches and is it allowing for proper airway, because we look nowadays and see so many people suffering with sleep apnea and how they're on CPAP machines and dealing with so many of these complications, and we have the ability now with non-surgical procedures to recorrect the lower jawline and allow the airway to open up, and then we can do the reconstruction. So we can now phase treatment even better for patients that can really work towards total optimal health in dentistry and medicine.
It's beautiful. All right, we gotta keep moving.
This is a hygiene room, and so is this one.
And they do their 3D imaging. So the gold standard now is the cone beam. So that's where they do their cone beam, state of the art. If you are still getting, what are they even called? FNX, right? And Panorex. Those are old school now. That's not the standard industry. Cone beam is a standard industry. Looking at a 3D, give me.
3D combing scan?
Yeah, a 3D
CAT
scan.
scan.
3D CAT scan of the entire mouth, so they can look at the airway, they can look at the palate, as well as the dentin. And this is your cleaning room, right?
Yes,
And this two hygienist rooms, and their lab, just beautiful and pristine.
It's very important to keep everything really clean.
Yeah, I walked in here and I was like, oh my gosh, this place is like IKEA, a place for everything and everything in its place.
This is my room.
And this is another hygiene room. So you
We
can
also
just
do
see.
a lot of scans in here for the iTero.
You do a lot of scans for what?
iTero? So we do
iTero.
lots of
Oh, is
Nygaard,
that
with the Invisalign.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
so
the thing where they don't have to do the molds anymore.
Yes,
It's all
so-
through like 3D printing. It looked like it was amazing to watch the other day.
Yeah.
Really
We
amazing.
can reproduce the smile with scan technology now, and it's used on CAD/CAM systems and even printers. So we can actually print out teeth and do pretty amazing things.
I think next time we're here, I want to do a Facebook Live watching you do that on somebody, because I went home and I was telling Ian, like, that just blew my mind, because I've had those impressions done and I don't miss that at all.
Oh.
I'm really looking forward to having that done to see if there's anything needed. Great. And then the rest is just bathrooms and offices and so forth. So is there anything out here you want to share with us?
Oh, we have flowers for.
Oh, the orchids, our favorite. Orchids everywhere. And all their flowers. So, you know, there's a real sense of love here, as you can feel. We really do love the Porcellis and everything that they bring to the biological world. And if you're in the southeast part of this country, or you're anywhere in this country and you need great dentistry, make sure to reach out to the Biological Center for Dentistry here in Bluffton, South Carolina, and you will find not only two of the most proficient and efficient dentists, but full of love, full of care, and you will just be so pleased. We look forward to seeing you. We'll see you all next time on Facebook Live at True Wellness.
Thank you so much for visiting us.